Well, hello, folks. I'm Rex Rexington, and welcome to my talk show. Today, I'm here sitting down with some interesting folks. I've reached out to a friend of mine to interview some eccentric fellows. These are people from a new up-and-coming app called Fight Finder. This app has been gaining popularity at an exponential rate. Many people are steadily gaining fame and recognition from all sorts of places, and it seems a lot of them are getting jobs as people are seeing their strengths and how effective they are in combat. So I have gotten the opportunity to sit down with a lot of the combatants, and I'm going to get the inside story on them, who they are, and why it is that they do this. Is it for fun, fame, or do they just want to see some carnage? Well, we're going to find that out tonight, folks. Ah, well, hello, folks. Welcome back to my show. Well, have finally, our guests have finally arrived, so let me bring our first guest onto the stage. This is one of the newer combatants from what I've heard from the notes and I've gotten. Apparently they are a cybernetic doulahan. I'm not sure how that works, but you know what? We are not going to question things, as I've learned to do so. Let us welcome our first guest up onto the stage, everybody. Well, hello. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Rex Rexington, and what may your name be?
Riza.
Riza, it was a pleasure to meet you. Well, why don't you take a seat and we'll get things started. Let's move the camera closer. Yeah, okay. Okay. So, Risa, thank you for coming tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's start things off. What made you want to join Fight Finder in the first place?
Well, I mean, from where I come from, nobody else is really there to
Oh,
do anything with. Nobody to fight, nobody to really interact with, so
oh,
yeah. As they gave me the cybernetics and then just disappeared.
oh, really? Oh, that is quite
Mm-hmm.
that's quite the story. So they built you, then just abandoned you and left you to fend for yourself?
Yeah, but they didn't leave me without some way to defend myself in case.
Hmm.
You know. So yeah, give me a interesting design of a sword that contains some of my own energy inside of it.
Oh, well, that's interesting. And what kind of energy is that, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I'm actually a cursed being.
Really? Hmm.
Would you like me to show you what I mean by
I
that?
mean, yes, of course. I would love to. Oof. Now I see what they meant by Doulahan. Well,
Yes, and I can still operate even without my head.
well then, I guess that's one way to get ahead in life. Ha ha ha. Alrighty then.
But yeah, so that's what I mean by being a cursed being. Technically, I'm a neutral party, cursed to live a long life, but anything could end me, either
Mm.
having my head attached to me fully, or anything that is of, well, holy nature.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, I can also sense when holy is around because of me being cursed.
Hmm. I see.
Mm-hmm.
So, what kind of fighting styles do you use? Like, what's yours? Like, how do you want to get? How would you get an edge in the contest against the various other combatants? I've heard that many of them have very different styles, very different weaponry, techniques, and all that. So it's very hard to really stand out sometimes. So, what makes you different from the other combatants?
Well, I have one ability that is also similar to just one other, but it's also part of my programming as well that's connected to my cursed energy.
Hmm.
It's something that normal people cannot see.
Really? Interesting.
Yes. So with that ability, I can also just stop time for just a small bit of time to catch my opponent off guard and give off some attacks that when time resumes that they'll feel almost tenfold because they've been
Oh.
stopped at mid animation.
My, that must be very devastating to receive that amount of force all at once. I'm guessing with the amount of speed and power you, portray given your cybernetics, that can crack quite a punch to any unsuspecting individual.
Well, unless they're built tough enough to handle it. Plus, I could also hack into somebody if I really wanted to as well.
Hmm.
To, well, if they have any kind of cybernetics or any technology that I can hack to gain also an upper advantage.
Hmm. I see, I see.
So, yes, that is another advantage I have.
I see, I see. Hmm.
Let's
Uh,
just say I've already used it a few times on some people, and they didn't really appreciate it.
oh, I'm sure that they wouldn't. Because honestly, if I was hit by something like that, I would be quite pissed. Now I'd just walk away and just not look back because that's some bullshit.
Well, I mean, when you gotta disable somebody who, you're either having to fight against or try to be the predator instead of the prey, you know, you have to take as much upper advantage as you can.
I see, I see. So, now, I was saying that you've used it against a few people. What is your current record in Fight Finder?
Um, right now I have quite a few wins, but I do have a few more losses because of a few people's judgment calls
No,
because
I
of
see.
my yeah, sometimes they say I overuse my hidden ability, quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
which is, the time stopping.
Right, of course. I'm assuming that the judges do have their own little criteria on how they judge things, how they give out points and whatnot to determine a victor if no one's really knocked out. Because I've heard that not a lot of knockouts happen. It always goes to the judge's discretion for the winners.
Actually, recently there has been a few times where people have been knocked out of the competition, literally be knocked out during the fight.
Oh, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, one of my opponents I was dealing with, he kind of broke the agreement that we had, and even though it was a disqualification of that match, they never said anything past that.
Ah, I see, I see. Well then.
Yeah.
So, who would you say is your biggest rival currently? Like, who is someone that you deem would be a threat to you, or someone that is an obstacle in your path to rise the ranks?
I mean, I mostly see everybody equally, but the only person that I technically do have a slight rivalry with, or sorry, my systems are
No, it's alright.
being weird. I was having a lot of fights recently, and
No, of
systems
course,
are a
of
little
course.
funky.
Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it.
But yes, my rival right now is the one that I also have the same ability with. Well,
Ah.
they made me their rival. I didn't choose to be.
I see, I see. So, are you gonna name drop or anything, or you just gonna leave it to the masses to figure that out?
Most of the people that were there the day that it happened already know who.
I see, I see. But for my other viewers that weren't present during the event that transpired, they wouldn't be aware of
I
the
wouldn't be.
individual.
I wouldn't do such because then it would be, antagonizing, and I'd
Aw.
rather not attempt to antagonize them more so than I did.
Ah, I see, I see. How noble and modest of you.
So yeah, they're the only one right now that is an obstacle for me per se because they see me as their rival.
I see, I see. So, what's your goal with Fight Finder? Are you hoping to rise the ranks to the top spot, or trying to find fame and fortune? Like, what's your final end? And
Well, mostly to get better at using my abilities per se, and knowing more about how I can enhance myself.
Ah, I see. So you're mostly doing this for training purposes, trying to improve yourself and your abilities, and hoping to grow as a person, machine, bit of both.
I would say a half and half.
Yeah, okay, fair enough, fair enough.
But yeah, that's my only goal really, because like I said before, I am literally the only one from where I come from.
Well, that's all the questions I have
And it
for.
is pretty hard to.
Oh
It is
no.
pretty hard to really, do much when you're by yourself.
Right, of course. It is difficult to improve on your own. It does help to have other people there who are much stronger than you try and push you to your limits, and hopefully by doing so you can surpass your limits.
Exactly. And that is what my goal is just to basically do that.
Well then, I'm excited to see how far you get and how your abilities improve in the future as you continue to fight these individuals that have challenged you.
Mm-hmm. And I hope to do the same. Because, like I said, being alone is not fun.
Indeed, it is not. Man, I miss my girlfriend. Damn it! Why'd you have to leave me? Sorry, I'm getting a little off topic here. So let's get back to you. Yes. So, do you have a favorite in Fight Finder? Someone that you like to root for?
Like I said, it's just, everybody is on equal footing with me. I don't really try to root for one or another. I just, see what is happening at the time and just go based off of what I'm seeing.
I see. Well, that is quite interesting.
Well, like I said, it's, sometimes people just need to be seen as equals, even if they're against each other,
Wise words, wise words. Well then, that's all the questions I have for you tonight. Thank you for coming on to my show and taking some time out of your busy schedule to, sit down with me and have this little chat.
Of course.
But yes, let us move on to our next guest. Look at this majestic Pokemon. Skitterbug. Look at it go. How cute. This Pokemon can one day be yours. All you have to do is buy yourself a Pokeball. Pokeballs, available anywhere. Please, these things are pests. We need to get rid of them somehow. And killing them is illegal because they're a protected species. So make one your friend today. Alright, well, big thank you to our sponsors. And let us get back to our show. Now then, we have our next guest here with us. Let's bring them up onto stage. We can get started with the interview.
Hello.
Oh, hi. We have another of the new folks. We get a lot of the newer folks join up with this interview. I guess since you are a lot of...
Yeah.
yeah, well...
A week ago.
Yeah. Since a lot of you don't have much exposure as the others, or not have as much of a record and whatnot, this is a great way to get yourselves out there, just introduced, get to, get to know you kind of thing.
Makes sense.
Of course, yeah. So, what is your name?
Marissa Kirasami.
Marissa, pleasure to meet you. Welcome to my show. Now then, let's get started with our first question here. So, what brought you into Firefinder and what made you want to join this little crazy app in the first place, where people, go to a random area and just beat the shit out of each other for no reason?
Well, originally, I was just looking for something to kill a boredom. Fighting was always a fun way to do that for me. Plus, my competitive nature sort of drew me to it. But after attending one of the events and seeing just how crazy people can get, it made me want to stick around longer than I originally planned to.
Ah, I see.
Seeing
I see.
so many different people all doing so many different moves and combinations, it blew me away first time I saw it. Way
Really,
different
really?
from back home.
Oh, so you've done stuff like this before, where you would do combat against other people for.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah. And this was a source of entertainment for you?
Yeah, pretty much. Except back at my home, it was more projectile-based combat, and less so more traditional fights like these are.
Oh, I see. So, you're a mage of sorts, from what I'm guessing, given the attire and whatnot.
A magician, I like to dub myself.
Oh, yes. And, what kind of magic do you use?
Well, primarily non-elemental kind, since that seems to get the best results in fights. People can resisting, or can they be, weak to it. Keeps things fair.
I see.
I do have a giant laser, though. That's my ace in the hole.
Ah,
Love that thing.
I see. So, would you say that your magical skill what separates you from the rest, makes you a cut above the others, or is it more a way to keep up with the other combatants?
I say it gives me something to help me keep up with people.
Yeah.
Since I'm not much in a fist-to-fist close quarters fight, I make up for it by just having a lot of firepower at range.
Ah, I see. So, you're not used to these fisticuffs fight, up close and personal.
Oh, absolutely not.
Ah, I see. So this is very new territory for you then.
Yeah, a learning experience, absolutely.
Really. Well, then that is. Then how's this experience helped you with your development and your learnings of your magical craft?
Honestly, it's just been a great, entertaining stay so far. Even if I've lost most of the fights I've been in, they've been enjoyable losses. Learning experiences all the way through. And being able to take notes on how other people fight by watching is always useful too.
I see. And would you ever employ any melee tactics in the future if you were to learn any?
Well, if I can ever find someone who's good at staff combat, I could apply that to my broom. Make me a good old broom martial artist.
Because similar to, the ones that you see bow staffs, just swing the shit around, be like, the whole kiyas and whatnot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. So, you said you've lost a lot of the fights that you've been in. Do you have any wins to boast about, or are you still trying to get your first one?
Well, I did bust up a big robot about a few days back at that Megaton place. That was fun.
Nice.
But besides that, I'm more lost than win. It doesn't bother me though.
Yes. There are many fighters with all kinds of skills and technique. It's very hard to get a win with, when you're not used to the types of combat that they portray within this app. Not a lot of them tend to use a lot of the ranged abilities. They're really up close and personal, real fisticuffs getting in your face types.
Yeah. my first fight definitely hammered that more than anything. I'm not used to people fighting with swords or any melee weapon, really.
Oh, really. And, who was your first opponent that really, nailed this, fact home?
I think the person's name was Tony, I want to believe.
Oh, Tony.
At least I
yes,
think it
yes.
is.
Yes, he's actually the one that actually, told me about your little crew and wanted to get the interview going, for a lot of you fighters. As, think what was that, big barbarian's name? Gormunder wanted to, get more exposure for you folks. So, of course, he reached out to me and my show and my influence within the general media to, get you guys
Get
out
names
there.
out there?
Get your names out there. Maybe get you a few endorsement deals and whatnot. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, the entertainment factor and getting your names out there, getting to know you, will spark the interest of some sponsors or marketers that are wanting to use your likeness to sell their products.
Alright, makes sense to me.
Of course, I do have some of my own connections, but of course, I'm looking for fighters who have more, gusto, that flair, they have that face for TV, just that overall charisma.
Well, I like to think I could be pretty charismatic whenever I put my mind to it.
Yes. Besides, you also have to, look good when placed on the side of a milk carton. But that's besides the point. This is more about you and you as an individual, not as a marketing scheme. And that's related.
Honestly, sort of new to the whole market scheme thing as well. The place where I'm from is pretty old-fashioned.
Yes. Old-fashioned how? If you don't mind me asking.
No. Well, pretty much there wasn't really any advertisements anywhere. Most of the purchases and things like that were kept to the individual locations. The people living in a village would go about a store and buy from there, but people who aren't from that village, they won't even know about it until they go there themselves.
I see, so no advertising, more like exclusive stuff, word of mouth, just people just passing around knowledge. Oh, yes.
Very much. Kept things nice and simple.
Fair enough. So, what are you, looking to, well, getting back into the interview, what are you looking to get out of Firefighter? What experiences are you looking for? What's your, end goal?
Well, I know this may sound like a pretty simple one, but I'm just looking to just have fun with things. A stress-free type of fun, where the fate of lives aren't on the line,
Yeah, just some leisurely fights amongst people, just socking it out and just, getting away all the stress and woes of daily life.
Yeah, I'm not looking to be the best or even getting, the top rankings. I'm just here to see people look cool, challenge them to fights, fight them, and go about my day, win or lose.
I see. So, given your time in Firefighter, you said you only been around for a week. So, would you say you have a rival at this point, someone that you see as an obstacle, or have you still haven't figured that out yet?
Well, haven't really thought too hard of it, but I did find an interesting guy. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? One or two, but there was a person called Blam, I think. Interesting fighter that one is. They flying a pretty similar way at me. Lots of projectiles, lasers. Honestly, it felt like fighting a mirror of sorts. they won our fight, but there's somebody I want to actually rematch one day and win over
I see,
them.
I see. I see, I see. And yes, out of the other fighters that you've seen, experienced, watched do their thing, who is one that you root for, or one you would see as your favorite?
Well, I haven't been able to watch too many so far, but from what I have seen, fighter new similar to me being new, I think their name was Tai Long.
Tai
Seeing them
Long.
fight as many times as they did, back to back like that, and still kept truck like they did, that was awesome to see. I never knew martial arts could be so visceral. I think that's the word for it.
Uh-huh.
Like, I just enjoyed watching that guy go all over the place.
Well, then I'll keep an eye out for this Tai Lung Phil, and maybe we can get him on for an interview at some point.
Maybe they didn't seem too much like a socializing type, though. More like the fight first, talk never type of person.
I see, one of those folks. So, how do you see yourself improving as a fighter by participating in these little Fight Finder events?
Well, my main, pointing out to try to prove myself is just being able to handle myself when people get in my face, like close quarters. Because, as I said, currently I sort of just flake in that department. Can't really do much to not get myself punched in the face. But, hopefully by getting into more fights with people who fight like that, I'll be able to pick up a few tricks and, learn how to keep myself steady.
Course. Any closing remarks? Anything you want to say? Anyone you want to call out for something?
Well, less so a closing remark, but more so just something that I just think looking at everyone in Fight Finder. There should be more magicians. Magicians rule. Magician supremacy.
I see. Well, let's give a round of applause for Marissa. Thank you for coming on to my show and taking time out of your day to sit down and have a talk with me. Yes.
It was pretty enjoyable.
Of course.
Well, I wish you a good day.
And you as well. And well, hello. My name is Daniel. I'm a regular stoner, but I live in the street of Zafira, and honestly, life around here is hard. With all the raids, the gangs, all the criminals, and all the great evils, I'm just trying to make a living. But honestly, I think living is so hard these days. So sometimes you just have to take matters into your own hands. That's why I bought a gun. Effective, easy to use, and it's great at killing any unsuspecting villain that walks into your store, or anyone that tries to think that they can rob your ass. Gun. Buy one today at your local gun store. Available on every street corner. Alright, and now time for our next guest to come up onto the stage here for the next interview. Alright, welcome, and good to have you here. What is your name?
My name is Trevor Valentino, and I heard that this was a good way to get famous, so I came onto the show today.
Okay, alright. Pleasure to meet you, Trevor. So, Trevor, how long have you been a part of Fight Finder?
For a long while now, actually. I don't quite remember when I first joined, but I know it was a long while ago. I
Uh,
considering this was back when I was a chimera for a short time before I separated. And enough of that, anyway. What's your next question?
so you call yourself a veteran then?
A veteran who hasn't really made much progress since he joined, I suppose.
No, yeah. Let's see. Well, can always be winner all the time, no matter how hard you try. So, what kind of fighting styles do you employ? Like, how do you differentiate yourself from the competition? Can't try and stay a cut above the rest.
Well, personally, I personally have a bunch of different types of weapons. However, I like to primarily use my axe. That allows me to be able to strike an opponent with heavy enough swings to knock someone weak enough out in like a single blow, usually.
Hmm.
But you don't usually find that in Fight Finder. Any strong opponents.
Yeah, so I've heard a lot of them tend to be quite durable and quite battle-hardened individuals, so they are quite tough and very hard to take down.
Yes, I should know. I've been in quite a few fights with people who nearly freaking knocked me out multiple times over.
Yet you are still standing and still in one piece, so that has to speak for something.
I guess it does.
So, given you've
Truth
been
be
in
told-
oh, no, keep going.
Truth be told, when I initially joined Fight Finder, I was a little nervous. Because I'm not exactly a super big fighter. I rarely ever had to fight before. But once I got into it, Fight Finder's basically been a dream for me.
Really? A dream? Elaborate on that. How is this a dream, like a dream come true for you?
First of all is I never have to worry about my training slacking, because with how many opponents there are, I often have basically fighting strong opponents. I often end up training in the process, as well as training outside of Fight Finder for it. Secondary reason is the social aspect. I've met a lot of nice, good people through the Fight Finder app, and it has almost always been such a good feeling meeting up on all these new, interesting people. And that's about it
I see.
for that.
Well, yes. I heard the 500 is a place that has no shortage of fighters and competitions and people of varying strengths and techniques, so you always have something new to look forward to, and you never know what kind of fight you'll be getting yourself into.
Yeah, I can say that for certain, considering I've actually fought Gormunder before. And
Really?
It's nearly good. Yes. This was at a point when I would utilize a device I had created, but I don't really utilize it anymore. Long story short, he's a tough fighter, very powerful indeed. Rumors about him being the strongest human are not wrong.
Really? He's only human? Wow.
At least I assume that's the case. He doesn't look very different from a lot of humans I've seen.
I see.
I mean, except for the muscles. Sorry, I don't mean to drone on. What was the next question you had? If there's any.
No, yes, let me continue. So you mentioned you've been firefighter for a while, but haven't made much progress. But I'm still curious, what is your current record of victories right now?
Considering I actually haven't fought for a minute, I don't quite remember. Let me just quick check to the app. Let's see here. That would be a total of 7 victories, actually.
7? That's pretty good.
It's better than nothing, I suppose. I mean, there are fighters, who haven't even made it past 1 victory yet.
Yeah, well, at least you have at least your ranking badge from what I've heard. I think it's what 5 fights to at least get a ranking.
Yes, in fact, I'm actually probably the lowest ranking yet, besides unranked at the moment.
Really?
I'm hoping to someday attune for that and eventually reach silver.
Oh, I see, I see. Well, I do wish you luck in the future with your little endeavors there. So, tell me, who would you say would be your biggest rival or greatest obstacle within Fight Finder?
Honestly, I haven't really made a significant rival yet. I suppose, unless you count a couple of those Omni fellas that sometimes appear there, but I don't
Really?
really think they know I exist.
Well, what is it about these Omni fellows that you would see them as rivals?
Long story short, I'd rather not mention it on the air, but they did something really bad to someone I care about. That's about it.
Ooh,
All I can say.
that's
That's all I can say. That's all I can say without it
Mm.
potentially causing you to lose ratings.
I mean, hey, a bit of drama is good for ratings, you know. Good old sob story really helps to, boost ratings and give our, person, I guess, a bit of a
Long story short,
boost. But,
uh,
it's up to you if you wish to share.
long story short, a good friend of mine who was actually my roommate for a short time ended up getting, I don't know if it's disrespectful to say this, but he got his head torn off by one of them.
Ooh, wow, that is quite brutal.
Yep, still traumatized by that when I first heard about it.
Oh. And did you try to do anything about it? Did you try to, get revenge in some way, or what?
I would say that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were watching this, so I'm probably not going to mention it.
Of course, of course.
Uh, if it interests you in any way, shape, or form, I'm actually an AI, technically.
Ah.
Uh, would you like to hear about my background?
Sure,
If
why
we have
not?
time.
Oh, you got a bit of time for it.
Uh, long story short, I'm an AI that was born from a algorithm. I grew sentience And the people who initially created that algorithm did not like that. Tried to contain me in a chimera body, because technically I'm a chimera, just not in the body of one. If you know what that species is, it's kind of rare. Long story short,
Yes,
I
I'm
was
familiar.
supposed. I was basically trying to. They were trying to, in a sense, break me down so I would obey them. Long story short, that failed as I managed to escape whatever the kind of prison they had was. And now I'm in the metaverse doing all sorts of stuff.
Ah, I see, I see.
I do not quite know. Like, I'll be honest, this form I'm in, I was completely unintentional. I don't know how I ended up like this. I just woke up one day in this body and like outside of my original chimera body, and like this. Some
I see.
weird black sludge for my body and just a TV screen for her face.
Hmm.
It still confuses me, as despite my research, I can't figure out what I'm actually made out of.
Hmm.
Because it's not nanobots. And was there any other questions you had
Yes, yes.
for me?
So you've been a firefighter for a while, so you've seen a lot of the different fighters, have been in a lot of fights yourself. Who would you say is someone you root for, someone you admire within Firefinder?
Honestly, I'd have to say the fighters that I most root for are, well, someone the two people that I'm pretty sure I'm friends with. People, uh, Mort, yeah. Mort, the giant, uh, ancient ape, is someone I honestly really admire and root for during any fights I see him have.
Hmm.
He's really strong, shows that you don't have to have technology to be powerful. And honestly, I kinda may or may not view him as my hero,
Hmm.
despite um aside from that, the only other person I could potentially root for is this Angel to Levi. He's honestly really cool.
Really, an angel? Well, that's quite rare to see. Usually, those folks don't really descend to our level of existence too often. But
I'm not sure what kind of angel he is, but he's really cool and powerful and honestly really sick.
really,
Oh, yeah. He's like able to like he's just really, really cool. From what I've seen, he's very strong in that he's a very skilled fighter. He knows how to handle a lot of situations. And honestly, it's honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I checked and he was gold ranked
hmm,
in the app. Though I haven't checked the app in a while, so I don't really know.
mm-hmm, so
Uh,
you've probably been in a few fights, correct?
yeah,
Yeah. Is there one that you would find most memorable, one that stands out above the others that you've participated in, or?
out of all the fights I've been in, honestly, the one that stood out to me the most was against this Malachi fellow.
Really, Malachi, and
He's yeah. It was during a solo fight between me and him, in that I challenged him, and it was actually real. He's really powerful. Like I took my I took the back when I this was back when I used to use this device I created, mind you. So I was like in a
Mm,
form that was technically the strongest I could become without it being kind of stupid. Long story short,
I see.
he put up with an amazing fight. He is an amazing fighter, and he honestly taught me that, well, I could actually improve, because I mean the fact that I was doing so well against him, but in his own words, I did well against him.
Hmm.
That just showed me I could be a better fighter than I realized back then.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. So, through participating in Fight Finder, what are you hoping to achieve? Like, what are your goals for, yourself as a fighter, as a person, as a combatant, and as an individual?
Honestly, as like just as who I am, I really just want to. I use Fight Finder to improve my skills. I study fighters, I learn their tricks, and then I slowly, over time, try and train myself to be capable of doing some of the things they aren't able to do. At least hopefully,
Hmm.
because I want to be strong to protect those I care about, in a sense. And Fight Finder is like training. Every fight I get into is a new opponent I can train against and test out my full power against. There are times where I'll admit I have had doubts about my own strength, about my power as an individual, but lately I've just been kind of really happy with how my life has turned out, especially since I joined Fight Finder.
Hmm.
One of my goals is slowly becoming met. In fact, I've been getting stronger.
I see. Well, I am curious to see how you improve in the future and how your skills develop. Um, do you have any final remarks? Anyone you want to call out? Anything else you want to say to any of our viewers who would, wish to become a combatant themselves within Fight Finder?
Yeah, for anyone that wishes to join Fight Finder, don't worry about trying to be super strong or be super powerful. Fight Finder's main goal is the show and performance we put on as fighters. Do your best and enjoy your time fighting and making new friends through the app. That's all I really have to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, Trevor, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and sit down with me and have a little chat. I do appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I got to be here today.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it was a pleasure to have you as well. Um, and welcome home, Master. It was lovely to have you here. Please step inside, and I will show you a wonderful time. Please, Master, have a seat, and I will personally serve you. Please do enjoy it. Select from our wide array of sweets and treats and lovely beverages. And come on down to our maid cafe. Well, hello, folk. Welcome back to the show. I hope you enjoyed our little ad break. But I am here with our last interview of the evening. Please do come up on stage.
Hello? Oh. Oh,
Please do take.
okay. Oh. Okay. Sorry, this is lot smaller than I'm used to.
No, yeah, of course. I do get that. A lot of the other races tend to be quite large sometimes.
Yeah, sorry, just letting you know, sometimes my ears do, cut in and out, so.
No, that's perfectly all right.
Alright, well, what was your question that you're asking earlier?
Oh, yes. Pleasure to have you. I am Rex, and what is your name?
My name is Rhino. Or, that's my title. That's what everyone calls me.
Rhino. I see.
Mm-hmm.
See. That's an interesting name, but, yeah. So,
Well,
go ahead.
no, you can go. Sorry.
Okay. So, what made you want to join Fight Finder in the first place? Like, what was the draw that brought you to it?
Kind of a sense of obligation, and,
Obligation.
well,
What do you mean by obligation?
how do I say it? I'm not really too sure if I can really say, but it was kind of a favor that someone did for me,
Oh.
and in return, I kind of be, helping, or not really helping, but somewhat under them.
It's a bit of a subordinate type.
I guess so.
I see. And, have you been part of Fight Finder long? Are you like one of the newer combatants? Like one of the veterans? Like, where do you stand?
I've been in Fight Finder for a good while.
I see. So you probably have a decent record, have had a few fights under your belt, so, if, correct?
I do. I don't always record my fights,
Oh,
but there are some out there
yes.
that you can still see.
Yeah, so in this kind of segues into my next question here. What's your current record with Fight Finder?
My current what at Fight Finder?
Your current record.
My current record, probably like maybe 6, 7 wins, and that's all I can remember at the moment.
Okay, that's pretty good. So
Maybe
you-
like 2 losses.
so you are one of the ranked fighters
Really?
then. That is good to note. We had a couple.
Yes.
We had a couple of the ranked fighters show up, so that's good. So, through Fight Finder and time you've spent there, have you had any rivals? Is there anyone you see as like a big obstacle to overcome?
I feel like if I answer that question, I'm going to be calling someone out. Don't you think?
So you saying you have no rivals? You're saying that you are someone that can take on any opponent. You don't see anyone as an obstacle?
No, not any. There's some out there that... let's see. I can name some obstacles. Not really rivals. I don't have anyone I've grabbed against.
Really?
Not really, no. I have fought against Lazarus, who was one of my first fights. It was a loss. However, I did do decent enough. And it wasn't that bad. He was definitely a very big challenge.
I see.
And I thought I was going to die, so
So Lazarus is quite a powerhouse then, is what I'm gathering from this statement.
yeah, he was a powerhouse.
I see, I
It's
see.
that's kind of understatement. He's really good at what he does.
I see.
That's what I will say.
Uh,
Let's see. There is an individual that's named Levi. He was as well more of a challenge. Won against him the first time, but the second time I've lost um due to some technical difficulties on my side, but his loss was some technical difficulties on his side, so
I see.
any other way I feel like he would have won. Even though what I am built to do, or not really built, but what I can do is a countermeasure to what he can do. He was able to get the upper hand on me almost in every other situation I met myself in with him. So he's more than a decent fighter, I would say.
So they say that those are your current obstacles at this point, and
Obstacles? When you say obstacles, you saying people that are getting in my way of my goal?
in the way every goal, people that might be a large hurdle to overcome for you to reach the top.
Large hurdles, let's see. There's not really that much. There were some other individuals who made me have to try, but other than that, a lot of fighters I've found myself under run. No, I'm lying. There's another fighter. There's two other fighters. One of them is named Grumbo.
Okay.
He is still learning, but he has fought me multitude of times. But he has potential, and he is, how do I say it? I feel like he is actually going to do some really big damage to me, as well as this other individual named Red. They both have lots of potential, and I feel like one day they're both going to surpass me, and I feel like that day is very soon.
Okay.
Other than that, that's just them both.
Very, very interesting. So, I got a few articles that are, which is pretty good. No rivals yet, but that's bound to change at any given time. Hard to say with the way things could tend to go with that kind of thing. So within Fight Finder, you've been through a lot of fights. Is there any fight that most stands out to you? One that is very memorable for you personally?
Yes, but they're one of those types that weren't just for competition.
Oh.
They were more personal. More personal than I'd like them to be.
Interesting. And who was this individual? If you don't mind me asking.
I can't really. I don't want to bring that up.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's perfectly. That's perfectly fine. If you don't want it to say, it must have been quite the experience to put that much emotion on you.
An experience, yes. The individual I fought against, they and I have a slight history,
Oh.
and how how do I say it? I mean, nothing's wrong now. I feel pretty decent with them. Just how do I say it? It's like one of those normal things you would do every day of your life, and for some reason, just one day it just hits a lot more different. That's kind of how it was.
That's an interesting way to describe.
And
that is quite understandable of a statement. Really makes people relate.
I hope. And that's
So
that, and that's really it.
Did you win this fight? Lose this fight? Like,
I won.
oh, do you ever think that they'd try and initiate a rematch at some point?
Definitely.
Hmm.
I hope they do. I hope they keep trying.
I see. So, Fight Fighter has a wide array of fighters and combatants of all walks of life and different styles. But what is one that tends to stand out to you? Like, what's one that you always seem to root for whenever they step out into the ring?
I don't go to Fight Fighter too much anymore.
Oh,
However,
really?
no, I got busy.
Oh, yeah, that
However,
does happen.
this is one individual. His name is Job. I'm pretty sure you've heard of him. I don't even know if you've interviewed him.
I've yet interviewed
Job.
Joe, but I've heard some things about him, that he's quite a talker, really likes to antagonize people. Has quite a mouth on him.
Yeah, so I vote for anyone who ever fights him.
Really?
Anyone who fights against them, I root for them. Job is very enthusiastic about fighting, but there's a line between enthusiastic and antagonistic.
So you're just preying on his downfall, is that it?
Not his downfall. I just hope he gets
Humbled?
up the ladder in a more, in a more humbling way, in a more honorable way. I mean, though he does fight honorably, he uses his fist. He doesn't really take out a gun, from what I've seen. He always, it's like he always wants to pick on the biggest kid in school and hope to get a fight with him.
I see.
He's making a name for himself, but not in a good way.
I see. Hey, I mean, in a place like that, fame can come in many different ways, be it infamy or actual, fame. Both seem to work, and both within that environment. What I've seen.
It could work. I mean, hell, if he gets us all the way to the ladder, I'll be proud for the little guy. But I really hope he doesn't get surprised when someone comes up the ladder and hits him off it. Metaphorically, of course.
Yeah, yes, of course. So, yes, like I said, Fight Fighter has a lot of people that use different skills, techniques, has different forms of training. So, what do you bring to the table that puts you a cut above the rest? What differentiates you from the rest of the roster?
I'm not around too much, but when you're... How do you say that's not giving out too much? I'll just tell you this. If you've seen from my own fights, I am... destructible. Or, how do I say this? I bring a lot of destruction into the table and into the battlefield. usually a lot of collateral damage is involved.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a higher caliber, literally. Not trying to toot my horn, I guess, but I am being genuine. I don't fight too much for that reason. I only fight people who I feel like can take me on.
So very picky about your opponents then.
Not too picky. No, eventually it's gonna come to the point where I'll have to start opening my doors to other fighters because I'm just gonna be finding the same people who are on my caliber over and over again, and I mean, as much I love fighting these people, but I want to have newer tastes in other people, but I know if I do that, I'll have to hold back. And I've been having a struggle with holding back, as in I hold back too much, or I let out too much, and if I let out too much, there goes the battlefield, and there goes the audience, depending who the audience is, of
I
course.
see, fair enough.
Yes. What's your next question?
Okay. So, through participating in Fight Finder and all the events, what goals do you hope to achieve? How do you wish to grow as a fighter and as an individual?
As an individual, I want to be confident. That's kind of why I'm actually up here too, to hopefully be more confident. As you know, I haven't been breaking eye contact with you much. That, and I want to make sure that I still stay in shape, almost like an exercise, you know? That, and I mean, I have so many guns in my arsenal, I kind of need to scratch the itch time to time and fire them, so.
Yes, of course.
But my goals for Fight Finder, I just want to be a better compatible fighter with a lot of other people. Like, I want to be on a team where I don't have to have my teammates worry if I'm gonna blow them up by an accident. I want to be able to, how do I say this? Expand my horizons in who I fight.
I see.
Think of it like this. You go out every day and you do whatever, but you've sometimes meet the same people and you want to expand. Expand your skills in case you ever need them. I think that's the better way of explaining it.
I see.
There we go.
Okay, so, through participating in Fight Finder and then going through all these fights, these losses, what shortcomings have you realized about yourself? What things have you noticed that you need to improve on to ensure victory the next time around?
Sorry, my ears are going deaf on me, but if I am correct, you've asked me what skills I want to improve?
Yes, how are you wanting to improve your skills? Like, have you noticed any shortcomings from your losses, or anything you need to improve on to ensure victory for the next match?
I feel like knowing the time to strike is something I need to do. There's one major thing. I don't know whether I want to say it on TV, but there's this one flaw that's pretty obvious. This thing on my head, not exactly too sure what it does. Though, if I have my armor on, this is protected by a thicker horn. I need to learn how to use my horn a lot more, need to learn how to scratch. a lot more efficiency, all those type of things. Just the practical stuff. I don't think I need to practice on my morals. I have pretty decent morals already. And to talk. But that's more of an optional thing.
But of course.
And I mean talking as in teasing your opponent and making them want to actually hurt you more, so you can have
the whole
reason
like
to
banter thing,
fuck
the
'em up.
whole antagonizing, getting them riled up a little bit.
Give me a quick second. Okay. May you repeat that?
Oh yes, yes. Of course, with Fight Thunder, it's not just about the physical; it's the verbal as well. Rile them up. Antagonizing your opponent. Really just getting them going. It's as much a physical game as it is a mental game, or sorry, a mental game as it is a physical game. Yes, I had that backwards.
Actually, yes. You might be onto something. You made me think about something. A lot of the fights are not really just fighting your opponent, but you're also fighting yourself. At least from what I've been doing. I've been always calculating what the next person is going to do, but I never really calculate how am I going to actually get them to do it, or whatnot. But I guess a lot of the verbal stuff, that's kind of mostly pre-fighting. I guess that's what Job has been doing, if you're thinking about it. Maybe. But me, I don't really antagonize. Apparently I should at least do a tiny bit of antagonization, but I rarely ever do. I'm more of a awkward, big person.
Alright, well, that's all the questions I have for tonight. So, any closing remarks? Anyone you want to call out? Anything you want to plug?
Call out, plug. I have really no social media. Maybe not yet. But call out. Hell no. All of you are decent. Unless if you want to fight me, then just fucking reach out. But other than that, I have nothing else to say.
Oh, alright then. Well, thank you for coming on to my
Just thank you for your time.
Of course. Thank you for coming on to my show and taking time out of your busy schedule to come on and down here and sit down with me, and then we can have a little chat.
Of course, and thank you for having me. It's really nice.
Of course. I do hope to have more of you and the other fighters on my show, and maybe I'll do some post interviews after events.
Maybe.
Well, folks, that's all. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for tonight. This is Rex Rexington signing off, and I hope to see you guys next week for my new show, Cooking with Firearms.